Hi everybody. This is my first YouTube video, so I'm trying to figure out how this thing works. Um, I decided to do this video because there's been a lot of things on my mind pertaining to the meaning of the two sticks theory in the Bible, the valley of the dry bones as well. And I've been delaying it and putting it off for a while, and tonight the Most High ain't playing around with me. Like, if I'm giving you this information, I need you to put it out there. And I've been procrastinating. But let me explain how a lot of this started. Okay. I'm not a Bible scholar. I don't know a lot about it. Even though I read it, there's a lot of it that I don't get. I can't recite these scriptures verbatim. I can't recite them like a bunch of sisters and brothers on YouTube can. They know this book. They know this book like the back of their hand. They know this book. I don't know this book like that. I read it once, and just like when I was younger, a lot of it, let's see why I haven't read it in so long. But a lot of things started making sense when I read it. Back in 2019, and it only made sense to me now because I figured out what this book is. I figured out the subliminal messages that it was putting in there, how it deals with the zodiacal signs, the zodiac, the Maseroth, or whatever. I was able to match it up because all my life I studied astrology. That's why I was able to match it up this time. But let me take you back. Now, let me take you back a year ago. 3 years ago. 2019 to be exact. Okay, what happened in 2019 was after watching a bunch of these YouTube videos, and nobody is talking about the true meaning of the two sticks, or the valley of the dry bones. And I know they know this stuff. I know they know what this means, but they want to stay away from astrology. They don't want to deal with astrology in it. Cowards. Scared. This is why the mentality is still a slave mentality. You want to criticize pastors and preachers for holding back information, but you're doing the same thing. So I told myself, you know what? I'm going to get a camera and get some equipment, and I'm going to start producing my own videos. Put that out there. They're going to be pissed, but I got to do this. I'm getting all this information, I'm getting all this information from, I feel it's coming from the Creator, the God Almighty, as you call him. But I'm still kind of leery about doing it because doing these videos, I'm gonna be in the public eye. I gotta do this. If God wants me to, if the Most High is giving me this information, He wants me to get it out there. And I'm like, is this truly the information that He wants me to put out here? Is this truly God? Because I watch these videos, and these people, these brothers and sisters, man, they come with it. This information they be bringing out, and they know this book like the back of their hand. They able to match scriptures and all of this, but they're not giving the information that I have. So I'm like, I kept procrastinating about it, buying equipment and stuff like that. So what had happened was I got fired. I got terminated because I had a dispute with my manager, and they fired me. This is a job I've been on. The position that I was in that position for like 10 years. But the company, I actually been with the company for over 20 years. But I wasn't worried or anything because I had money in the bank. I'm like, I could pay my bills, I could do that. I'm not gonna rush anything. But me being a Capricorn, we like to work. We for some reason we like to work, and um, my chart said I should own my own business. That's what my birth chart says. But I'm working for somebody. So I'm making my living working for somebody, which my chart says I'm not supposed to be doing. So I go through periods where I get into financial problems, financial trouble. Let me give you an example of this. Okay, what I did was I got fired from that job November the 10th, and I started a new job. Not what I was doing, something totally different. I started a new job, but I was on the new job by the December 10th of the same year, the following month, when I got fired. But this job is paying me almost $11 less than what I was making on the job I got fired from. Like, damn, I'm not going to even sweat it, because I'm not one of those people that is so eager about money. Money is everything to them. And I mean, I trust and believe I struggle. I don't like having a budget for things, but the money isn't a problem. I mean, I don't really care about the money. As long as I can pay my bills and have money to buy little things, for myself, I'm cool. So I take the job, paying less, and as soon as I get this job, I start getting all this information start coming to me about what I could say in my videos, what I can talk about in my videos. It started coming to me. So the severance check that my other job gave me, I bought camera equipment. Bought 2 cameras, bought the lighting, tripod, what else I buy? I bought mics. This is just one of the mics. I got other mics, all sorts of stuff that I could put on YouTube and, podcasts or whatever I want to do. I could do it. I got the equipment. I can do it. So I'm still procrastinating. I'm not doing what I need to do. I'm procrastinating about doing these videos, and I'm getting all this information through the Ruach or the Holy Spirit or whatever you guys call it. I'm getting all this information. And I think the reason why I didn't do it, I didn't do this video, is because I wasn't as confident. I wasn't as confident that this was real. I mean, this information that I'm getting, that it was real, and that I should put this out there. Because for one, I don't like to be in the public, like this, being on YouTube, everybody looking at you, watching what you say, watching how you look, all this other stuff. I didn't want to put myself out there like that. But I'm getting this information, and I said I was going to get these equipment to do it, and I got the equipment, spent a lot of money on it, and what happened was I ended up injuring my knee on the job. This was early this year. First it was the pandemic. I caught the pandemic, so I was out, but the job took care of that. They paid me all the days on this, so like I'm still working on but my check was still the same as if I was working. But I should have been doing videos there, because the most I like, look, you got time off from your job, you at home, chilling, yeah, I gave you a sickness, but I'm going to make it light on you where it won't be that you can still do my videos. But I didn't do the videos. So when I went back to work, I'm still getting this information about the 12 tribes and associated with the zodiac or what. I'm still getting this information. And I'm getting how I could break this down. And I'm not writing it down to anything. So, the Most High say, you gonna be a problem. You try to be a problem for me. So he like, remember the story? So the Most High, he start putting things in my head. He like, the story about Jonah started coming up. No, Jonah that got swallowed up by the fish because he didn't want to do what the Most High told him to do, trying to run away from it. But I wasn't running away from it. I was just procrastinating. But the same thing happened to him. I didn't get swallowed by a big fish or anything, but the Most High did the smackdown. What he did was, I injured my knee on the job. I hurt my knee. So when I hurt my knee, I had to go out, be out of work. This time I wasn't getting my full check. I wasn't getting all my money. They were only giving me half my money. So half the money, kind of put me in a bad financially when I came back to work. Although I was able to keep up, I didn't have nothing left over after I was paying my bills. And I already wasn't driving my car. I was commuting with the commuter train. They call it Metro here in Chicago. And I was taking a bus and I was taking the commuter train, which was cool because it saved me a lot of money versus the gas. You know, gas is crazy now. So I'm like, cool, I'll take the train and the bus or whatever. But the bus started making me late for work, using the excuse they didn't have the drivers or whatever. So you'll be out there on the schedule and wouldn't none show up for me, and I end up late having to use some of my PTO time, which dipped into my overtime, because your overtime don't kick in until you actually work the hours that you're supposed to work. So it's messing up my overtime. So I decided I'm gonna get my car fixed, you know. So I had to use some money that I'm supposed to use to pay my car note. I was using it to get my car fixed. So after like 2 paychecks or whatever, I went and got my car fixed. Right after I got my car fixed, I got a notice. I think these people be watching you. You're on the surveillance or whatever. Because right after I paid to get my car fixed, then I get a notice saying you have to the end of the week to pay this, to get caught up on your car note. It's like 3 payments behind or whatever. Or we gonna come get the car. That's what it says. And me being a Capricorn, like, I handle this, I'm trying to handle this or whatever. We not calling, begging them not to come get it. We just don't do that. Capricorns don't, at least this Capricorn don't do it. So I'm like, damn, I don't have this money. It was like $900, $950 or whatever that I needed to pay. Well, they was gonna come get my car, and I need my damn car because hey, I worked so far, I got to get to work, and you know, I need a car. So I'm looking, and I'm like, where am I gonna get this money from? Damn, because you know, friends and family they got their own problems, you know, and you know, people are broke these days. The people money is tied up. So I'm like, damn, what I'm gonna do? So I'm starting to look at my equipment. I'm like, ain't this a bitch? Excuse the language. That's what I'm thinking. I'm like, both sides doing this. Like, you're not using the equipment, so take it away. So I'm like, I had to get my iPad Pro pen that I had with it, my 2 cameras, and I went down to the pawn shop. And sure enough, they gave me, it came out to exactly what I needed to do the pawn shop loan. So I pawned my stuff, man. I didn't want to do it, but I pawned it. So I pawned it. I said, those have a sit back smirking. Yeah, you wanna procrastinate? This is what I'm gonna do to you. So now you go do my video, but you go do it from that cell phone, that iPhone that you've been having for all these years, you gonna use that because it's simple and it'll get the message through. So that's what I'm doing here. Is the first video. The first video just to introduce to you guys who I am, why I'm doing this, and I think it's an important. But on a serious note, the reason why I believe that the Most High is going through me to do this is because it's something that needs to be done. And it's something that that the Most High, the Almighty, been grooming me for since I was like 10, 11 years old. I used to read the astrology, in the newspapers or whatever, Sidney Omar or whatever. Used to read that. You know, all my friends, I knew they sun signs or whatever. And I was always into astrology. It was a point in my life when I was studying with the Jehovah's Witnesses. It was this girl I liked. She was a Virgo. And I liked her so much. And I was doing the studying with the Jehovah's Witness name because she was a Jehovah's Witness. And I went to one of their summons or ceremonies or whatever one time. And after there was a break in between, we was walking around the neighborhood in Rockford, Minnesota, long time ago. And I strolled into we all went into a bookshop, and I was drawn to the esoteric books or whatever. And it was this book called Sun Signs by Lisa Goodman. Man, that woman can write. I mean, the things that she wrote, I connected with right away. It was called Love Signs, and it categorized each sign and their relationship with each sign. And that book I bought, and everybody looking at me crazy when I bought that book. It just was like, you can't be with us buying this book. No, I didn't give it about what they were saying. I bought the book anyway. And when I bought that book and I was reading, I bought it because of the relationship day. I was young and dumb. I mean, I was mostly thought about being in relationships, and you know, if me and this Capricorns compared with a woman who was of a different sign or a different sign, that's what I really got the book for. But as I was reading that book, I realized that we're not just one sign. We are a collaboration of the entire elements in the zodiac. We are. And that's what got me started on this road. So, when I read the Bible when I read the Bible in 2019, I started seeing the connections of the zodiac in that book. I started seeing it. And once I started seeing it, wow, man, that's when all this information started coming to me. And it really ramped up. He really ramped up on me once I started this new job. And once I started this other job. I've been on this job for 2 years now. The irony about it is, since I've been on this job, the raises, I just been getting raises after raises after raises. Cost of living raises and regular raises, 6-month raises. And every time I look up, I'm getting a freaking raise. Now, I'm like, I think $4 less than what I was making at my other job. I think it's like at $4 now. So I'm like, yeah, even though I'm not a money hungry person, I just want enough to be able to pay my bills and go out on a date now and then, and just that's all I want. I mean, I don't really care about the money, even though I see all these videos where everybody complaining about money and how you need to have your own company and stuff like that. I'm not doing this for that. I just wanna I'm just want to get this information out because I feel like this is something important, especially where we at right now. Everybody, I mean, all these videos with these brothers and sisters talking about we're in the last days. You see all this stuff happening. We're not, trust and believe. We're not there yet. We're not there yet. Although, like the book says, like a woman is pregnant, giving off the birth pains and all this other stuff before she's in labor. She's not having a baby yet, but she's experiencing the labor pains. That's the stage we're at. We're not there yet. I'm going to stop this video in a second, but from what I've read and my study and my research, right now, birth pains, after the year 2026, that's from that point on, even though it's not the end yet, that 2026 marks 6,000 years. 6,000 years mark day 6. The Most High rested at the 7th. So, day 6, 6,000, I think we're going to see worse than these tornadoes, hurricanes, fires, all this stuff. We're going to see worse than that, I believe, after 2026. I think it's going to get worse. And it's not going to all happen at once. I think it's going to be bad, but it's going to be it's going to be before the bottom falls out, the sun goes dark, the moon don't get its light. I think we're at least, because we're going to the age of Aquarius in the year around 2150. So I think that before we get to that point, that's day 8, where there's no time. I think when the sun goes dark and all that, that represents day 8, where there's no time. The Revelation talks about that, speaks to that, but it's going to be a point where there's going to be no time. That's when they're back in Jerusalem and there's no sea or whatever. That's day 8. But before that point, I think before we enter the age of Aquarius, before we get there, that's day 8. I think along day 7, I think the next 600 years or whatever, the next 500 years or 100 years or whatever, I think United States, European nations, all these places that took God's people, those places going to see hell. Hell. It's going to be so bad. Wars. It's going to have to be wars. The reason why it's going to have to be wars is because these people have a certain standard, and they not going to be able to deal with losing it. But at the same time, with the information that the Most High want me to bring to you guys, it's gonna give you some ideas. It's gonna help you understand why when it says that He's gonna change our hearts and minds. It's gonna show you why. A lot of things you don't understand, but it's. I hope that the videos that I bring out is going to be able to explain it more and better in detail to you. But that's all I have for now. Hopefully I could get this video uploaded to YouTube and it won't get censored or anything. I don't think I said anything that gets censored, but who knows? No freedom of speech nowadays. But have a good night, YouTube, and hope you like this video when you see it. Okay, good night. Bye.